The moon, our loyal gray and seemingly lifeless neighbor, or so we thought. Imagine waking up to that headline. The moon is rusting. Sounds like the plot of a sci fi movie, right? But it isn't fiction. Scientists have discovered hematite, a form of rust, on the moon, and it's left them scratching their heads. So, how can this airless, waterless world be rusting? If you want to know how this is even possible, stay tuned because it's coming up next on the Y Report. We all know that Mars, the red planet, owes its rusty hue to iron, water, and oxygen from its distant past. But the moon, it's supposed to be dry, airless, and definitely not red. So when researchers found traces of hematite, a form of iron oxide, on our moon, it wasn't just surprising, it was downright impossible. An airless world that's rusting? Hmm. Well, welcome to one of the weirdest mysteries in space science. The story started in 2008 when India's Chandrayaan-1 orbiter scanned the moon's surface with its Moon Mineralogy Mapper, or M3. Now, this high tech instrument found something strange at the lunar poles: spectral signatures of hematite. Now, the lead researcher, Shuai Li, couldn't believe his eyes. Rust on the moon? It simply shouldn't be there. So imagine telling your boss, hey, I found rust on the moon, and watching their coffee spill in shock. That's how puzzling this was. So let's break it all down. Rust, or hematite, forms when iron reacts with oxygen and water. But here's the kicker: the moon doesn't have oxygen. Well, not exactly. It does have oxygen, it's just not in a breathable form. And liquid water is, well, as rare as Wi Fi is in a desert. So, to make matters worse, the moon is constantly being bombarded by the sun's solar wind, which delivers hydrogen, a chemical that stops rust from forming. So, talk about the worst possible environment for hematite. It's like trying to bake a cake in a freezer. It just shouldn't work. So, let's crack this mystery. So, how is the moon pulling off this impossible feat? Lee and his team proposed a three-part explanation that might just rewrite science books. The first clue comes from Earth itself. Our planet's magnetic field extends far into space, forming a windsock-like structure called magnetotail. In 2007, Japan's Kaguya orbiter found that oxygen from Earth's upper atmosphere can hitch a ride on this magnetotail, traveling the 239,000 miles to the moon. This oxygen could be the key to rusting lunar iron. Now, interestingly enough, the M3 data showed more hematite on the moon's Earth-facing side than the far side, suggesting Earth's oxygen is playing a starring role. But here's where it gets tricky. The sun's solar wind delivers hydrogen, which should prevent rust. But during the full moon phase, Earth's magnetotail shields the moon from most of its hydrogen, creating rare windows where rust-friendly conditions can occur, suggesting Earth's oxygen is playing a starring role. So think about it like this. It's like the moon gets an occasional spa day to oxidize in peace. And finally, we have water. While the moon is mostly dry, tiny amounts of water molecules exist on its surface. Fast-moving dust particles regularly smash into the moon, releasing these molecules and mixing them with iron in the soil. Add heat from these impacts and voila, rust. But here's the twist. Smaller amounts of hematite have also been found on the moon's far side, where Earth's oxygen shouldn't reach. So what's going on? Could the moon have hidden sources of oxygen? Or is something else at play? Now, scientists, they don't really know yet, but I can assure you they are on the case. But here's the thing. This discovery isn't just about the moon. It could help us understand chemical processes on other airless worlds like asteroids. So, if dust and tiny water molecules can create rust in space, what else might we be missing? Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is this host completely losing it? I get it. Rust on the moon sounds like a science fiction plot. But fear not, dear viewers. To back up every mind-bending claim in this video, I've included proof. Organic space receipts, straight from none other than NASA itself. Check out the link in the description box to read the full release. So now we know that the moon is rusting, and that's just one of many surprises that our universe has in store. Every discovery reminds us that space isn't just a void. It's a treasure trove of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. If this blew your mind, like it did mine, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you will be notified when the Y Report posts. And for more cosmic curiosities, keep looking up. You never know what you might discover. And as always, thank you for tuning in to the Y Report. And I will see you next time.